Disability Farmer Cesar Delgado. This is Cesar Delgado from Back Roads of Illinois. Good morning, everyone. Today is October 6th at 9 CST. Good morning, everyone. Today is October 6th at 9 CSTM. I'm with Trent Ford. I'm with Trent Ford for this morning. He is Illinois climate. From U of Illinois. Well, the harvest season is underway. I began my harvest season yesterday, but the yield is low on the corn. Because the weather was pretty variable in the corn belt. Hey, please stay tuned for this afternoon. I have Steve C. from America Soybeans Association. tomorrow with Lauren Lurkin from Illinois Farm Bureau.
Hi, good morning.
Please be patient. I'm using a computer to help me communicate.
No problem. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Trent, how are you?
I'm doing very well. The weather has been quite lovely lately, although a bit dry, but not too bad.
Welcome to my podcast, and I am a National Farm Broadcasters Association member.
Excellent. It's great to be here. I appreciate the invitation.
How about the Mississippi River? I heard about the lower rate.
It's really yeah, it's really something. We've had it's sort of a large scale kind of problem. We've had dryness here in parts of Illinois, really going back the last 3 months, especially in parts of central Illinois. So what that's done is it's caused lower flow, especially in the Illinois River right now. But also there's been pretty dry over the last 30 days over the Ohio River Valley. and the upper Mississippi, thinking about parts of Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. And at the same time, they've had drought issues in the Missouri Basin as well. So, it all kind of comes down to a head because Mississippi drains that large area that it's had pretty bad dryness there. And so, yeah, a lot of barge traffic is kind of held up right now.
Why is this happening?
That's a good question. So the
I remember 2020. This time was pretty dry.
Yeah, 2020 was as well, where we had drought in parts of the state and especially in the fall. So yeah, I mean, this year it's the same way where September was just very, very dry. And part of the reason being was that in the we had a kind of a change in the weather pattern essentially where our this high pressure system came down kind of in the latter maybe third of the month and brought us cool dry air, and it's really just persisted over that time period over the last maybe 2.5 weeks or so. So it's really something how persistent that weather's been to sort of dry us out. Now we weren't exceptionally wet leading up to that, and so what that's done is kind of a longer term 2 or 3 month rainfall deficits combined with the drier cooler air. It's really made for kind of more rapid sort of drought onset here.
Yes. However, we had a wet and cool spring.
Yeah, indeed. It was especially in April, it was very cool. And it was also it was rainy in April, but it wasn't exceptionally wet. So it's kind of an odd thing. We had really frequent rainfall in April, but it came in small portions. And so what ended up happening is we would get, for example, here in Champaign, we had 20 days with measurable rainfall in April, but we were still about 1 inch to 1.5 inches drier than normal. So all that rain did was, and the cool weather, as you mentioned, was keep farmers out of the fields, but they didn't necessarily put a bunch of moisture in the ground.
Yeah. Do you remember me from Illinois Valley Community College?
Where were you at IVCC? Was that an event recently?
in October 2019.
Yes. Okay. You know, it's funny, because that I was a month on the job by that time, and it seems so long ago, right after the pandemic. And so, yeah, because I had gone there to give a drought talk. That's right. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, and where are you from originally? Is it Ottawa?
I'm from Ottawa.
That's you. Okay. So familiar with flooding issues being from Ottawa for sure.
Yes, sir. This year was pretty wet spring and cooler than average.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal for planting, that's for sure. It kept soils wet, and this did not dry out for sure. And I think we see one of the impacts we see from that is delayed crop maturity. And so, despite the really nice weather lately, we haven't seen a ton of harvest yet, especially central Illinois, northern Illinois.
How about next couple weeks and into next spring?
That's a good question. It is. So the next couple of weeks are looking actually a little bit cooler than normal. The week 2 outlook, which takes us to late October already, it's crazy, is below normal. Best chances of below normal temperatures. And those will persist at least into the 4th week of October. And as far as rainfall is concerned, we see a little bit better chances of above normal rainfall next week, which can be good. I mean, maybe we can bring a little bit of into here, kind of stop some dry conditions. And then beyond that, it's still looking a little bit drier than normal, at least until the winter time. As far as next spring is concerned, we're still a little early to be able to get any kind of real signal for what's next spring looks like. So we'll have to wait and see, but right now it looks like maybe some better chances for rain in the next couple weeks. But I wouldn't say there's anything that's like washout, and maybe actually below normal temperatures, which would be a contrast to last October that was so warm and wet.
Yeah. Hey, how about regenerative agriculture with climate change?
Yeah, it's a pretty hot topic right now. Um, the um,
Give me a scoop on that.
yeah, well, so yeah, there's a lot of talk right now about regenerative agriculture and or what I don't, the USDA likes to call it climate smart agriculture. And I mean, the idea behind this is that agriculture has generally, especially kind of the traditional, maybe commodity crop agriculture, thinking about corn and soybeans, has generally been extractive. And there are methods that management strategies that are increasingly being kind of thought of as a way to to either continue or improve productivity on the farm, but make a more sustainable farm operation. And that's sustainability from lots of different places. There's sustainability as in environmental sustainability. So reducing regenerative ag to reduce nutrient runoff and soil erosion into our waters, nutrient runoff to improve resilience to drought and negate the need for irrigation. But then there's also the regenerative agriculture that makes the crops, the whole system less vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. And one example of that is having, for example, increased crop rotations or more diverse crop rotations to really help push the or really help with pest management strategies. So having corn on corn on corn on corn, or even just corn beans, corn kind of rotations can increase pest stress. And so increasing the rotation of things like conservation grazing or small grains or even squash, in fields can actually decrease that pest pressure. So all of those things are kind of part of regenerative agriculture.
Wow, you were very helpful in the agricultural commodity in Illinois.
I do really appreciate that. I try to be. And the I mean the idea here is that climate change is sort of a management strategy. So and this is what I try to tell folks when I'm speaking or in front of farm groups, is that if we were to talk about a new insect pest or a new weed or a new policy challenge or something like that that provides some sort of challenge to management of agriculture in Illinois, there'd be solutions to those things. And we would say, okay, it makes sense from an economic standpoint, from an environmental standpoint, from a physical and mental health standpoint for farmers to implement these strategies. Climate change is just that. Climate change is a shift. It's a change in the frequency of extreme weather, but it's also a shift in our growing season lengths and things like that. And all of that is something to manage. So it really is. I mean, it's an important thing for ag to take seriously and become resilient to these sorts of impacts.
Yeah, but some people are not believe that.
Yeah, that is a problem. Unfortunately, especially early in the idea of climate change, because of sort of bad faith actors, both on the policy side and kind of the economic side, have sort of done everything from flat out denied that the climate's changing to sort of muddying the waters of how it's changing, what's causing it. And so unfortunately, what's what's happened is that the climate change, and I think it's less so than it was maybe 10 years ago, but it became politicized, sort of like other subjects, where if you tend to be more liberal, you tend to believe something or think you should believe something, in the same way with being more conservative. But I'm hopeful that that the impacts of climate change availing themselves, and the idea of climate change that the idea of climate change will not be thought of in the near future as a political issue, but just as this is what's happening, let's fix it, or let's do something about it. What can I do to make myself less vulnerable to these changes?
Politics are coming to playing in.
Yeah, always, right? I mean, everything is politicized right now in sort of this environment, and climate change has been that way for a little while. And it is unfortunate. I think what it's done is it's caused a lot of people to unnecessarily have a harder time, and in some cases really wreck some livelihoods. But I'm seeing it more and more that there's less pushback to the idea of climate change. In certain places, in certain circles, there's still that, but it's less so. And the reason being is that we're seeing the effects of climate change, especially through increased rainfall. I've never had anybody come up to me and say, I don't believe that rainfall is getting heavier in Illinois. That's the way that people see things. And so I think it's going to take some time and effort, but I do think that people are coming around to the idea that this is happening and we need to do something about it.
Trent, thanks for joining in.
Hey, I really appreciate the invitation. Any time you have a topic that you're discussing related to climate or weather, reach out. I mean, you got my email, and so please reach out, and I'm happy to join again, and or point you in any direction for information or anything like that. So very much appreciate it.
Do you have Dan Hicks' email?
I don't know. I don't know that person. I don't think I have their contact. Yeah, sorry about that.
Sounds good. Well, my pleasure.
Well, thank you again. It was a great pleasure being on, talking with you. And like I said, please feel free to reach out anytime you could use anything or anything like that. So thank you again, and have a good rest of the week. Enjoy this nice weather we have.
You too.
All right. Take care. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
This is Trentford, Illinois climate. Well, everyone, see you later.